Welcome back to another Theme Park Obsession video. My name is Dylan and thank you so much for tuning back into the channel. Today I wanted to give you my reaction on the D23 Parks and Resorts panel that Josh D'Amaro was presenting the other day. We're gonna head to Disneyland. I'm gonna walk around the Disneyland Hotel to talk about that because I have a lot to say and I have some ideas about one of the projects in particular. So how about you and I dive right in. And after a short little walk, we've made it to the Disneyland Resort because today I wanted to talk about some D23 stuff, give you my reaction and thoughts on the things that they did announce. I guess the things that they didn't announce. Finally made it through the archaic security here at Disneyland Resort. That's one thing they didn't talk about at the D23 Expo, and that's why they haven't updated the security scanners here at the Disneyland Resort. I figure, why not head into the Disneyland Hotel to talk about the D23 announcements. I love all the artwork and of course all the old school stuff they have in this hotel. I love this giant map of the park that they have. This is an old map. They also have a model of one of the cruise ships, and I might as well talk about that right off the bat. They did mention the cruise ships during the panel, and there's gonna be a new one called Disney Treasure. And you know what, I'm actually okay with the cruise ship announcements. I've always wanted to do one of these days, so hopefully we'll be able to get out to do either the Fiji one or the Australia trip. That would be really cool. It's been on the Disney bucket list for sure. So yeah, the cruise ship announcements are nothing bad in my opinion. I love this wall with all of these beautiful photos, all the different celebrities and Walt Disney, just kind of enjoying the park. Them building the park. So cool. If you haven't seen this, I totally suggest heading into the Disneyland Hotel to see these beautiful photos. It's just right by the elevators. Another thing that I thought that was actually kind of neat is that Magic Happens is coming back. They announced that it's coming back to Disneyland. Magic Happens will be cruising its way down Main Street, USA very, very soon, starting in 2023, along with a few other shows coming to the parks. In addition to Magic Happens, they're also doing a new fireworks show to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the company, as well as an all-new World of Color show called World of Color 1. Weird naming for World of Color. It's kind of like a World of Color 1. That's interesting. I feel like it's just a little too easy, but excited to see what the show's all about. Oh yeah, look at this. This is like an original concept drawing for Disneyland. Always love this one. They didn't talk about the DVC tower that's being built right behind me at the Disneyland Resort, but they did talk about Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and I'm actually very excited for that to be opening here at our parks here in California. I'm excited for our version. I really enjoyed the ride at Hollywood Studios in Florida, so I'm glad that ours is gonna be slightly different in like one or two scenes. And of course, the queue space is gonna be a lot different from the Hollywood Studios version as well. So really looking forward to the all-new Toontown and of course, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. It is so grossly humid outside, so shout out to all the construction workers that have been tirelessly working on this project today and for the next few weeks, because the weather's gross. Disney also talked about Downtown Disney, and I am very excited about Din Tai Fung and a few other retailers and restaurants coming to the Downtown District. We definitely need it, including Porto's. That is now coming to the Downtown Disney District, so I'm actually really happy about those additions. Made it over to the Frontier Tower. Decided to come in here and enjoy the AC and of course sit down and chat. But the problem with some of these announcements here at Disneyland and a bunch of other parks and resorts that they talked about at the panel is they haven't given us really concrete dates as to when all this is going to be opening. So like with the Din Tai Fung and the Portos and all the other Downtown Disney additions, we have no idea when that's going to be opening. The panel was a lot of what if, maybe, we're dreaming, we're inspired. What if this? Maybe, and maybe even more maybe. But what's unfortunate is it seems like Din Tai Fung was the most exciting thing that was announced. And it was kind of troublesome to hear the audience react to some of these things that Josh was announcing at the panel. They were just like roaring applause and cheers, and I'm just like, wait a minute, like what is, we shouldn't be too excited for a meet and greet. That's silly. I mean, come on guys. I think Disney can do better than that. I think Disney needs to do better than that because there's some competition outside the gates, and I feel like Disney needs to be paying attention to that. There was a lot of just weird instances during the panel, and like one in particular, Josh talked about how they're bringing a Figment meet and greet to Epcot, which, hey, we all love Figment. I have adored Figment. I remember the first time I went on that attraction over there, Journey into Imagination, and I really enjoyed it. But I knew, I'm not blind to the fact that it does need some updates. But the fact that Josh tomorrow just said, hey, we're just doing a meet and greet and we're not gonna address the ride at all, tells me it's like, well, what kind of, is there any creativity going on there or what? Josh could have really wowed the crowd and said, hey, not just a Figment meet and greet, but a new reimagining of Journey into Imagination. We're gonna keep Figment, we're gonna bring back Dream Finder, and we're gonna create this experience that pays homage to Figment and that original attraction, but in all new ways. And that's what I was waiting for at this particular panel. And trust me, I hear the hardcore fans when it comes to Epcot. Epcot has gone through the ringer, and I know Epcot's core has been torn apart, so to say. And there are some things about Epcot that I really love. It's still one of my favorite Disney parks, but I do know, again, I am not blind to the fact that the company is doing stuff to Epcot that is very questionable. And it's like, wait a minute, does this really go with Epcot's philosophy and core value? Or is it just like you're turning this place into, hey, we have some available land, let's plop in an intellectual property because we don't really want to be as creative as we can be. It was, again, just very puzzling to me that Disney didn't talk about the treehouse renovation here at Disneyland. They didn't talk about the DVC tower being built and some more details there. They didn't talk about the Tomorrowland rumors. And again, the Tomorrowland thing could have never been an idea or whatever, but it just seems like the Tomorrowland here at Disneyland and at Magic Kingdom needs so much help that it would have been a great opportunity to announce maybe some new attractions. And we've seen the new Space Mountain rendering for Tokyo, and they're working on that right now. So it would be nice to hear about that. And we didn't hear about a bunch of other things that they could have talked about as well, you know, like even when they did talk about a new attraction, like say the Avengers attraction that's coming to the Avengers campus, it's like the multiverse attraction, which I'm kind of intrigued about. But again, they gave no details on, no opening timeline. And on the timeline that they put, like that Josh showed at the panel, at the very end of it, like the timeline of when all these things are gonna be opening, the Avengers ride wasn't on there. So it's gonna be at least another like probably 6 to 7 years until we see that. Again, it was just a lot of, hey, we got some ideas, but we don't really know when they're gonna open. Hey, we got some really cool ideas, but we don't really know the details. Hey, we maybe have some ideas and we're thinking about it, but we don't know. Another weird, interesting concept that they talked about is that the Pacific Wharf at California Adventure will be rethemed to San Francisco from the Big Hero 6 movie, which I did enjoy that movie. I did like Big Hero 6. And that's gonna be the reoccurring theme throughout this video. Just as a heads up, just because I don't like seeing some of the IPs in the park doesn't mean that I hate the intellectual property. There's a lot of Disney movies that I thoroughly enjoy, and Big Hero 6 I actually really enjoyed, but I don't think Big Hero 6 and the Pacific Wharf was needed. And when you look at the concept art, you just have these lanterns, and they rewrote a lot of the English text into Japanese, and then they have this like weird looking San Francisco style Golden Gate Bridge thing going on the already existing bridge. Like they're not going to take it out, they're just going to put the towers up from that bridge, and it's just very weird. And to me, that tells me that they are so desperate in putting an IP into everything that they will even go down to just doing something as simple as that, where there's not going to be an attraction. There's going to be a meet and greet with Big Hero 6 characters, and then shopping and dining. That's it. But again, it shows like Disney is really that honed in on taking everything that was original or whatever and just slapping an IP onto it. And to me, it's like, was that really necessary? Like, did you have to do that? Were people walking through the Pacific Wharf going, dang, I wish this was San Francisco? Honestly, the Parks and Resorts panel was very disappointing. You know, not every single thing they talked about was disappointing. Like I said, I was really happy about the cruise line edition. I was happy about the stuff coming to Downtown Disney. I'm happy about Magic Happens coming back. And I'm happy about the Happily Ever After show coming back in a new way. So there are parts of the presentation that I did enjoy, and then there are things that I'm looking forward to. But overall, very disappointing. And one thing in particular that was very disappointing is what they want to do to Animal Kingdom. An executive from Disney's animation team was up on stage with an Imagineer, and they were saying, oh, you know, the first thing I think of when we're trying to create something for Animal Kingdom is Zootopia. And to me, if that's the first thing you think of for Animal Kingdom, then you've completely lost the whole point of Animal Kingdom, and you don't really know the vision of Animal Kingdom to begin with. So to me, it's just an easy idea, because if that's the case, if you're just basing it off of the fact that Zootopia has animals in it, well, then why don't we have any other animal movie in Animal Kingdom? Like, just put anything. How about the Aristocats? How about the Lady and the Tramp movie? How about, what was it, the other one, the Chicken Little? Any of those, like, that same logic to me is there. And it's like, to me, that's not creative. It's just easy. And a lot of people might say, well, Dylan, Animal Kingdom has Avatar in it, and that's an intellectual property. And you're absolutely right. But Avatar, the whole point of that movie is conservation. So it does fit with Animal Kingdom's core values and philosophy. Now, is it teetering on that like line of like, okay, IP land versus, you know, core values of the park? Sure. But when it comes to an overall, I think Avatar fits really nicely in Animal Kingdom. But for Zootopia and Moana, let's put those in other parks. I think Zootopia would fit better actually in Disney's Hollywood Studios, and I think Moana should just stay at Epcot. Now here's my idea for that Dino Land USA spot in Animal Kingdom. I know that Dino Land USA was not the best moment for Animal Kingdom. The thought of dinosaurs is not a bad idea, and quite frankly, I think dinosaurs are super popular. I think every kid wants to see something dinosaur at some point. If dinosaurs weren't popular, movies like Jurassic Park and Jurassic World wouldn't be crushing it at the box office. Universal's been capitalizing off of that franchise for a long time now. So if anybody's going to try to convince me that dinosaurs are not popular, well, I feel like they're living under a rock, because dinosaurs have always been popular. The problem with Dino Land USA is just the execution. I think they could have done dinosaurs a little bit better, and that's what I was hoping for at the D23 panel here. I was wishing that they would just go into Dino Land and renovate Dino Land into a new dinosaur experience, something that was more creative and brought some more family attractions for the kids, and brought in a massive renovation to Dinosaur the Ride, because let's be real, that ride is fun, it's a little scary, but that ride does need some work because it's showing its signs of age, and it's really not that old. So that's what I was hoping that they would announce, but instead they brought up the idea of Moana and Zootopia. So my idea was either to renovate Dino Land and make it a new dinosaur experience, or please the park executives by bringing in an intellectual property, but an intellectual property that I think can be blended in together with more of what Animal Kingdom's core and heart and philosophy is all about. And that would be Jungle Book. Now hear me out. I think Jungle Book would work better than Zootopia and Moana, because I just feel like there is more to it than just face value. You can really go deep. And if you really think about it, yeah, Jungle Book does have to do with abandonment, and there's a person involved in that. But I think that we can take the no pants rule that Joe Rohde laid out and say, okay, we can appreciate that, but we can also, please the IP gods here by doing Jungle Book, but also going deeper into, well, where is this taking place? Where does Jungle Book take place? And it actually takes place in India. Let's do some blue sky of our own. I think a better blue sky concept than what these Imagineers are coming up with. Let's take Jungle Book as the core attraction that will be within this new land. Jungle Book fits within this overarching theme of this land, and that land is India. But where in India? Well, Siona, because that's where Jungle Book apparently takes place. And Siona is located in Madhya Pradesh, India. It's in central India. Especially coming from the Asia section of the park, it would be a beautiful transition from the Himalayas to India, because the Himalayas do border that section of the world. And we do have some references of Nepal in that section of the park. So that transition from the Himalayas to Nepal to Madhya Pradesh would be very beautiful and very seamless, and would work beautifully as this new space that you just kind of blend into very naturally. Madhya Pradesh, India has some beautiful ancient temples, and you see that culture, that rich culture, and Disney can take that and create something original off of all of those beautiful ideas, very similar to what they've done with Asia, because Disney has gotten references from all over Asia when they were building that land, so they can do the same here with India. And again, we can have some new animal exhibits. Disney can go in and rescue some animals and create these elaborate, gorgeous walkthrough exhibits that we can see and learn about all these beautiful creatures that live in Madhya Pradesh, India. And then, yeah, deeper into the land, when we go into Siona and into the jungles, that's where Jungle Book lives. That's where we can meet all of our favorite characters from that movie, and it could be this beautiful dark ride or boat ride that fits seamlessly into this space, this new space of Animal Kingdom that also pays homage to its core and its philosophy. It's a subcontinent that I would love to explore, and Disney can do it in a beautiful way, just like they have with Africa and Asia and Pandora in the park. And it fits well with what the core value of the park is, and it also pleases the executives with putting in some sort of intellectual property, but not fully slapping Joe Rohde in the face, because I feel like that's what they did. It's kind of a shame that Joe and his team spent a huge chunk of their life putting together this absolutely stunning theme park with such a rich and just original core. For them to just put Zootopia or Moana or even think about doing that is kind of disheartening. So my idea, Madhya Pradesh, India. India would be a beautiful addition to Animal Kingdom. You could even add an original attraction to that as well, in addition to the Jungle Book. I think it would work, and I think a lot of people would enjoy it. And I love getting that sense of backpacking around the world when I go to Animal Kingdom. You do feel like that when you go, and for those that have gone to Animal Kingdom, I think you know what I'm talking about. There is this sense of exploration. And sure, you get that with all the other intellectual property stuff that they do, but I just feel like Animal Kingdom brings it to a different level, and I feel like that level of heart and that level of originality and adventure needs to continue at Animal Kingdom. That sense of we're in nature and we are appreciating the world around us needs to be always the heart of what Imagineering is doing for Animal Kingdom. They should never lose sight of that. And unfortunately, again, we're not going to be able to change it, but unfortunately, they're not thinking of Animal Kingdom's philosophy. They're just thinking of, hey, what's popular? People are going to spend money. Let's do it. And for anybody that's going to bring up the argument of like, oh, well, Dylan, like the reason why they don't do original rides anymore is because they're just not as popular as the intellectual property stuff. I beg to differ. Because if you think that's true, then I would have you take a look at Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, Space Mountain, Expedition Everest, and a handful of other rides and attractions that Disney has done over the years that are based on nothing but an idea. I want to see more from Disney. I want to see more originality. Again, I'm not fully against the IP thing. I love seeing some of our favorite Disney movies be brought to life in some of these Disney parks. But I feel like doing that also needs to pay respect to the park itself, and the park shouldn't just be this space where they just start putting in all these different movies. At what point do all these parks just become the same? At what point does it just all feel the same when we're just doing the same kind of movies and the same kind of thing in every single one of the Disney parks? So yeah, overall, I was very disappointed with what Josh had to present and show off. Especially since over in Florida, we have Epic Universe, Universal Orlando's newest theme park. They had nothing really to say about that. They did talk about some stuff at Magic Kingdom, which I am, again, intrigued about, very interested about. I think out of all those announcements for Magic Kingdom, like the Coco and Encanto and the Villains area, I think the Villains area fits beautifully together, because then you have Fantasyland, and then you could transition into a Villains area very nicely. Me personally, I think Coco and Encanto would fit more at Epcot, because you have World Showcase, and you could fit Coco into the Mexico Pavilion. You could go beyond the pyramid and what lies beyond that. And same with Encanto, you can create an all-new pavilion for the Encanto characters. So yeah, their logic here is a little interesting and weird, and I hope that they can go back to the drawing board for a lot of these ideas. And I really do love these parks, and I just don't want to see them go into this weird downward spiral. Creating original ideas that can be then turned into intellectual property is also a good idea, and I don't know why Disney doesn't see that anymore. Look at Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean was built, and then it sparked all these different movies, so why can't Disney continue that? In conclusion, I'm disappointed. And I hate to say that, because I do love coming here, and I love seeing new innovative things. But I always like enjoying some things that I don't know as well. I love that sense of, you know, hey, let's go exploring together, and we don't know what's around every corner. It's not based on anything but just a brilliant idea. And these parks are just becoming brand parks where they just kind of stick all these different movies into them, and there's no more theme anymore, and there's no more overarching message and idea. And yeah, it's disappointing. It really is disappointing. It's frustrating. I'm a huge theme park fan. You guys all know this, and I think the hardcore theme park fans are very frustrated like I am. And I hope that I do believe there are people within Disney that think like I do, and so many of us that have these really cool ideas that don't have to do with anything but just an idea. But I don't think their voices are being heard, because that's not the assignment. The assignment is to just push whatever is going to make them billions of dollars. And they don't want to take risk anymore. And that's across the whole entertainment industry. Look at movies today. I can't count on my fingers how many superhero movies there are. And there's no more risk taking anymore. And I want to see that with the parks. And I hate to say this, but Michael Eisner was not perfect, but man, I wish he was the CEO again, because at least he wasn't afraid to take some risks. Because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have all these different parks. And yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Go ahead and comment down below. I was disappointed in the panel. I don't think Disney's going in the right direction. I think other competitors will take the chance and overcome them. I think Disney's crown is going to be dented here very, very soon. And the fact that Tron is not opening up until 2023, it's taking them 6 years to build a roller coaster. Yeah, I don't know. So, very disappointing. But what do you think? Go ahead and comment down below. Be interested to see what your thoughts are. I just wanted to use this as an opportunity to talk about what we were all watching the other day. A little rant, some ideas. Yeah, what are your ideas for the parks? What do you think of Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom? Their blue sky ideas. Go ahead and let me know. But if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. And if you're new to the channel and you love these videos and a bunch of videos from Disney and Knott's Berry Farm, Universal, Six Flags, and all over, I suggest you subscribe, because I have brand new videos every single week that you won't want to miss out on. I also have an Instagram page. I'll leave that link down below in the description. Be sure to check that out, because I post updates there all the time that I don't normally post here on YouTube. But other than that, I hope you have a beautiful day. And you know, I do hope for a beautiful tomorrow. I really do. And I think one day it'll happen, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, at least for the Disney Parks leadership. Maybe elsewhere, maybe at Epic Universe, I don't know. But I hope you have a beautiful day, morning, evening, whatever it is. And I'll see you next time in the parks. Bye.